for you. This one is another Star Wars set. We haven't done one of these in a while. Um, this is the Mandalorian's N-1 Starfighter. Apologies for the quality once again. Hopefully it gets better in later reviews. Normally they're not like this. Anyway, we're moving on. Here's the set. It's great. It does have some issues. I think it was definitely overpriced when it came out. I believe it was in 2021 it came out, around the same time that the Book of Boba Fett premiered. Good show, a little disappointing, but the best part of the show was the Mandalorian episodes. There was like at least two Mandalorian episodes that they just put in there randomly, and it was good, but it was kind of funny that they just shoved Mando into the Boba Fett series. It was just, I don't know, just a little funny to me. But one of the best sets to come out of that line is this set. 60 bucks, definitely a little overpriced. Actually, it was a lot overpriced. It's a big set. It's just not $60 big, you know? But it's a great set. Compared to the Razor Crest set that came out, it's definitely a little bit weaker, just because the Razor Crest is so much bigger and it has a lot more pieces and it has a lot more figures and it's just a little bit cooler. But obviously, this is the Mando's new ship from the Book of Boba Fett and the Mandalorian season 3, which is definitely the weakest season. Anyway, I'm not getting into that. Great set. But yeah, here it is. We'll take a look at the figures first, as usual. We got technically four figures, not really. We have like two actual minifigs, and then like two small figs. So yeah, we've got the Mandalorian once again. He's not really that different from other sets. The only thing that's new is the head underneath at the time. He's got the Din Djarin Pedro Pascal head this time around, so you can actually see his face, which is nice. The helmet, I feel like the helmet is too light. It should be darker. He's got the dark jetpack. He's got the arm printing, which is always fabulous. And he's got the dark saber. Dark saber's kind of lame. It's just a black lightsaber bar. It's not that good, but it's fine. It works for the set. He's got the lightsaber handle, and the printing is just amazing. It's super shiny, Beskar. Look at that. It shines in the light. It's so amazing. Although I feel like I kind of prefer the Mandalorian figure with the cape instead of the jetpack, but he uses the jetpack a lot more. So I mean, it's just personal preference. Um, I have to admit, my favorite Mandalorian minifig is the first version that they did from the first season, or I guess the first few episodes of season one, where he's got the mismatch armor. I just feel like that's a lot cooler than the all Beskar, but whatever. Great minifig. I feel like the helmet could be a little bit better, but in future sets they definitely up the game with that. Great figure. I don't need to spend too much time on it. It's the Mandalorian. He's kind of standard. Let's move on. We've got Baby Yoda or Grogu. um, he's a great minifig. I don't think he's different. He's just the same. He's like a baby fig. So he's got like baby hands. He's got a little baby head. Pretty good fig. Pretty nice. He has the head movement. He's got the one stud connection, and that's about it. He's a nice size. Like if you compare Mando to him, he's pretty good size. He can be held. He can also be held by his hand, and that's about it. Great fig. Just nothing special to talk about. I like the Grogu. It's really cute for sure. Very nice. One of the new figs in the set, Pelimoto, the mechanic from The Mandalorian. Yeah, she looks great. Very nice to get her for sure. I forgot the actress's name, but she did a great job for sure. I always love seeing her in the Tatooine episodes. Very nice. She's got a wrench. She's got really nice printing on her torso and a nice belt piece. And the hair is pretty much perfect for her. The bushy, curly hair. It's perfect. She's got another face, which is a little bit happier. Back printing is not too special. It's nice. Um, I think leg printing would have been nice, but it's not a deal breaker. It's really nice to get her for sure. Very nice to get her for sure. Probably one of the main reasons to get this set is for her because she is new for this set, and probably I'm guessing she won't appear in another set. So, yeah, if you want her, you gotta get her in this one. And then last up is the BD droid. Great, great piece. It really reminds me of Jedi Fallen Order, which is a fantastic game. You need to play that ASAP. But great game and great fig. He's got like one stud. He's got another stud on the back. Very nice detail, and he's in white. He's got some blue highlights. Really nice fig, and he's pretty much the same size as Grogu. Like if you put him together, like next to him, pretty much the same size. So you know they can hang out and be friends or attack each other, whatever. Yeah, those are the figs. I feel like they could have included at least one more minifig, like at least, like, one of the Jawas or one of the pit droids or, like, one of those bounty hunter I forgot the guy's name that was in season 1, but that guy, the slime ball that tries to, betray Mando and gets killed for it, that guy was really cringy, but I would have liked to see him in this set, that'd be cool. Even though he wasn't in this scene or this episode, but still. Anyway, there's the figs. I'm gonna move them aside, just because they're distracting. And the ship is pretty big. It's pretty big. It's a good size. Like if you compare your hand, it's pretty good size. Compared to Mando, though, it's a little too big. It should be a little bit shrunken. Like it should be a little smaller than this. But you know what? Bigger is better, I feel like, in this case, because you're getting a lot, like, you're getting a big ship. It's not like some tiny little dinky thing, which is nice. Um, and is there 60? It's long. This thing is long. Like, I'm gonna have to get up here because this thing is so long. It's because of this tail. This whole back section is super long, which is accurate to the ship. The Naboo fighters have always been long ships. Of course, this is not like this is technically an original Naboo fighter, but it's been salvaged because this is the Mandalorian's new ride. So it's got like a bunch of new tricks up its sleeve. It's got like a ton of weapons. It's got a ton of new paint applied, and you can see a little bit of the Naboo yellow color. It's kind of hiding in there. You can see it a little bit there. Some highlights here and there with the yellow. Very nice. It's just not there's not as much as there was in the show, which is fine. Um, and one thing I really appreciate about this set is the fact that there's only like 3 stickers, which is really refreshing. There's like one sticker here on the engine, one on the top of this hot rod looking piece, and then there's one on the inside. We'll get to that later. But yeah, there's only 3 stickers. That's where this set shines over the Razor Crest. The Crest has like at least 10 or so stickers, so it's a lot. And you know, it's a little bit of a shame. But I love the look of this thing. I got it for 30, which is a much better price than 60. It's like half of it, over half. So if you can get it for not 60, do that because it's not worth 60. It's just not, there's not enough. If there was like at least 2 more figs, a stand, maybe some other effects stuff, maybe then it would be worth 60, but I don't know. It's just, they were asking too much for that price. Probably because it was like Book of Boba Fett themes, but still. Anyway, great set. It does have some features. Actually, not as many features as you think. We've got this hot rod, this big area. This is a part of the engine, I'm assuming. It moves a little bit. Well, if you look on the bottom, there is a spring-loaded shooter brick. And if you push this down, well, that's gone. It shoots the bolt, and you get, I think you get 3 of them. So the 3 in the red color, and you can angle that a little bit. It's like the first feature. It's kind of like standard for a ship. You got a firing mechanism. It's not that special, but it's nice. No, the engines move a little bit. You can move them a little bit. They're pretty secure, and we'll talk about the engines later. They're really nice builds. Um, there is a storage unit, so on the middle of this thing, you've got this section that can just open up. Got some vents on the top, and this is really for when you put Mando in there. Because unfortunately, one of the drawbacks of this ship is because it's a starfighter. It's a single seater, so you can't really put Mando in there with the jetpack or the lightsaber, or sorry, the dark saber. So, it's a little bit lame. But the good thing is you can put them in here, and that's like storage, so that's nice. That's good at least that there's like somewhere to put the accessories. Just closes on up really seamlessly. And yeah, aside from that, there's like not much like feature wise. Obviously, you can get inside the cockpit, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. But I want to mention the engines. These things are really cool. You build them kind of separately, and they're attached by Technic pins. And what I like about them is they're very like they almost look junked up. Like they are these engines are beat up. Just they are very dirty and like crammed together, full of random mechanical bits. And there's just as much junk as possible on top of these things. You can see the engines like right here, the points. You've got like just paint roller pieces. You got ore pieces, like lightsaber handles. You got like little wrenches and like not syringes, but um, hydraulic presses and just a lot of these really cool pieces like telescopes and these like large circle parts. You got a couple printed parts for the vents on the front. And what I like about the engines is they're not the same. They're very slightly asymmetrical, so there's some different details on this engine compared to that one. And you build them, it's actually a really cool build. You have like Technic rods and you push parts together, and it's like a mix of Technic and like regular pieces. And it's just really cool. You got some like old school blaster parts right here and some flowers and you got some like cylinders and it's just really creative the way that they put these engines together, and they're really sturdy. Although you definitely don't want to pick the ship up from these engines; they're gonna fall off. They're not that sturdy, but they're sturdy enough to where you fly it around and it's not gonna break. So that's nice. Got the points on the back. I like the color of this whole set, even though it's a Star Wars set. Mainly Star Wars sets are like gray and dark gray and black and, boring colors. This one makes sense because this is from the show. So it's meant to be this, kind of boring color scheme. It actually kind of works in this case. Same with the Razor Crest. That one's even more of a boring color scheme, but that, again, makes sense. That's a gunship. And yes, the set is very nice. I agree with you, Mr. Mandalorian, in the chat. Great name, by the way. Um, but yeah, it's just a really well designed like ship, for sure. A couple nitpicks. I'll get into that. This is a loose piece. This down here, this whole engine block thing, it looks secure, but once you start playing with this and flying this enough, this happens. Yeah, it just doesn't. It's got a connection, right? You got four studs, a brick. It just doesn't like. I don't know what's up with this thing. It doesn't want to stay in place. It stays enough, but you really don't want to like. It's an annoyance. It's annoying. It's dumb that it just falls off a lot. Like 90%, it falls off, and it's kind of annoying because this is a really nice part of the ship. It just would have been nice if there was like a tighter connection so it wouldn't, flop off. Another thing it's a little bit annoying is the tail. The tail is built really nicely, but this is really loosely connected. Like it only has two studs. So if you're flying it around, oh, it's actually never mind. It's not as it doesn't break as much as I thought it would. But usually, um it will fall off. Like sometimes it'll fall off. Yeah, this back section is just fragile. This because this back section is kind of half rubber, half plastic, so it's not as secure as you would think. Well, it's secure enough, okay? It's not gonna fly off when you're flying it around, but it's sometimes it likes to fall off, okay? Another thing that likes to fall off. But you know what? This is more secure than this. This is just annoying. This block. This needs to be secure for sure. You need to modify this because it's kind of irritating. But anyway, yeah, I agree. The engine thing. Everyone that reviews this complains that this stinking build, this part of it, doesn't like to stay on, which is kind of dumb. But anyway, um, great build. It feels good too. So the Razor Crest is a much heavier. Okay, I promise. I'm not going to mention the Razor Crest anymore. But that set is a big, bulky ship, whereas this is much lighter. It's much easier to fly, and it's a lot easier to play with, and it's also a little bit of a quicker build. So in that respect, this set wins. It's just not as iconic because we spent the first two seasons in the Crest, and it was like a very iconic, like cool ship. Whereas this ship is newer, so we're gonna have some time to get used to it. But you know, that's just something I thought I'd point out. Another thing I really like about this is the number of vents. There are several little vents on this, like this right here, this right here. We got these up here. We've got some vents on the engines. A lot of vents. I just like the vent pieces. I just think they're really nice. Um, and yeah. As for features, there's only really one last feature, and it's the fact that these cockpits, you've got double cockpits this time. So you've got this little glass dome for Grogu to go in, and he fits really well. There's like a single stud jumper, circle jumper, and you can put him in there. And then you've got the seat for the Mandalorian. In this case, I will take our old friend and put him in there. Actually, I want to give you a look at that console. It's a little hard to see, but there is, you know what, I'm going to take it out. This little console piece is really nice, and it's a circle tile. Put it in there. And it's a tight fit in this thing, and it's really nicely built. You got like nice leather chair, headrest, and enough room for the arms. But it's a tight fit. Like, look at this. It is incredibly tight. Like, it's ridiculously tight quarters for the Mandalorian, which is fine. It's just really kind of hilarious how tight he is in there compared. Okay, I'm not gonna compare it, but you know what I was gonna say. Um, yeah, great design. It's just cramped. So, you know, it's kind of, you're kind of used to the Star Wars sets being cramped. Like, most of them have, like, only a single seat, and it's kind of funny how tight it is in there. But, yeah. One more little nitpick is, so you can close the cockpits like normal, right? Well, you don't want to close the main one first because then you can't close the other one. So it's a little bit weirdly designed like that. You have to close Grogu's cockpit and then the main one. Which is just, I don't know, it's a little bit curious, but yeah, the figures fit really nicely in there. It's just, you know, just a little nitpick, but yeah, as for a set, I mean, it's really awesome. I forgot to mention the guns. The guns are awesome. You got like these long laser cannons that are really intimidating. You've got them on there. They don't shoot. Obviously, you've got the bolts down here, which is hidden, which is kind of cool. And also, piece-wise, I like this giant like tan round brick like plate. I don't know why that's tan. Like it's like dark tan. Like this whole set is like gray and dark gray. Why is there a tan? I don't know. But it's something. So yeah. A lot of triangle pieces too with this, which is really nice. I like all the sharp triangular shapes. It adds a nice look to it. This is my first time getting like a Naboo fighter. I know it's not really Like it's the Mandalorian specific Naboo fighter, but still. I love the look of this. I like the rounded shapes. One last thing, piece wise, I really like all these slopes, these light gray slopes. They're just really nice parts to have, um, for sure. And it's a fun build too. It's actually a kind of a quick build. Most of the build actually goes into the engines. Um, but yeah, it's a nice build for sure. Um, it's definitely one of the best Mandalorian sets that we've gotten. Like of all of the sets, I think this is one you probably want to have or need to have, just because it's really important and it's just really awesome for sure. Again, compared to that other set, it's a little bit weaker. But if you don't have the money to get that, or if you don't want that one, this is a nice option for sure. Again, not $60 worth, but get it cheaper, and you'll have a good time with it. As I just have like little nitpicks, like again, this thing loves to fall off. Just stop, stay in your place, sir. But yeah, this is a nice set. It's really good. I'm glad I got it. I waited a long time to get it, mainly just because I have the Razor Crest already like on display. So if I'm gonna keep this one, I don't know if I'm gonna put this one on display just because it's long. It's a little bit hard to put on a stand. But as for a recommendation, absolutely, for sure. Especially if you're a big fan of the both shows. Yeah, when I saw it in the episode, I was really impressed. It's a really nice ship, for sure. And they did it pretty much justice. Again, maybe, or not again, but it would be nice if like all of this was chrome, but they don't, Lego doesn't do chrome anymore. And in fact, they haven't done it in a long time. But yeah, they don't like to do chrome, which is fair. Just, just something to keep track of. Yeah, it's a nice set for sure. Anything I don't like? No, I just mentioned the nitpicks. That's really it. I mean, feature wise, it's kind of limited. There's not like too much you can do. I feel like the one thing they could have done to maybe make it worth 60 would be to include a stand, some kind of really cool stand that you could play with and adjust. And I feel like that really could have helped it um, justify the price. Because again, I feel like it was way overpriced. Um, Probably because it was Mandalorian related, but still. I feel like Lego Star Wars as a whole is overpriced. There's just so many sets that are just too high. They need to bring the prices down. I know they won't because they've got a lot of Lego Star Warsians, in the palm of their hand. I used to be one of them. I'm kind of branching out from the theme, but this is one I had to have. Just I'm a huge fan of The Mandalorian, and I needed to have it for sure. Um, Stay tuned for a future comparison with the Razor Crest, because I kind of have to at this point. I mean, there's probably people that have done it better than me, but that's it. Let me know what you think of the N-1 Starfighter. Do you think it's a good version? Do you think it sucks? What are your thoughts on the Book of Boba Fett? And what are your thoughts on the Mandalorian, especially season 3? I liked it, but it was definitely like the weakest season compared to one. I feel like season 1 is by far the best season. Um, just they knocked it out of the park, like for real. Um, but yeah, a great set, great show. Let me know what you think in the comments or in the live chat. And what are your thoughts on Lego Star Wars as a whole? Do you think they can improve? Do you think they should lower the prices? Do you think that they should stop making remakes? And what's your favorite Lego set of all time? And let me know what your favorite Lego Mandalorian set is for sure. Thank you for watching or listening. Appreciate it. Stay tuned for the next review. Thank you once again, and have a great day.